Hello and welcome to a little crash course about RESTful Web API Basics in Go. I am Christoph Berger, and in this video we will look into REST basics and how to build a tiny REST server in Go. This course consists of two parts. First, we'll have a brief look at the basics of RESTful Web APIs. After that, we'll build a tiny REST server together. Before touching any code, let's have a closer look at the concepts behind REST. REST is an architectural paradigm that can be seen as an abstraction of the structure and behavior of the World Wide Web. Just like a human clicks a hyperlink and gets a new page of data back, a REST client sends a request to a server and gets a response back. The REST protocol is based on four basic operations: create, read, update, and delete. These operations are often described by the acronym CRUD. REST is often but not always based on the Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Methods are built from HTTP verbs like get, post, put, delete, etc. URLs just point to resources that the methods can operate on. A URL never includes a method name. This is how the CRUD operations can be mapped onto HTTP verbs. Create is mapped to HTTP post. Read is mapped to get, update to put, and delete to delete. This assignment is not absolute. For example, both put and post could be used to create or update data. In RESTful Web APIs, a URL can describe a collection of elements or an individual element. An HTTP verb may therefore represent two different operations, depending on whether the resource is a collection or a single element. For sending data to the server, there are two options. First, you can send small amounts of data within the URL. Second, data can reside in the body of the HTTP request. The server always returns data via the body of the HTTP response. Coincidentally, database operations also follow the CRUD scheme. Create maps to SQL insert. Read maps to select, update to update, and delete to delete. Well, okay, this is perhaps not much of a coincidence at all. But anyway, this is a straightforward way of making database operations accessible to web clients. Let's turn from theory to practice now. With the basics in our heads, we can now start writing a tiny REST server. Our code consists of standard Go, except for the HTTP router. The standard server-MUX router is very simplistic and provides no path variables nor any complex pattern matching. A better choice is HTTP router. HTTP router provides path variables designated by a leading colon, as well as a simple way of mapping HTTP verbs to CRUD operations. Let's start coding now. First of all, we need a flag for setting the listening address. We set the default to port 8080, which is a common HTTP port for servers with local-only access. Then we need a data store. For our purposes, a simple map from string to string is completely sufficient. The main function starts by parsing the command line. The data store gets created as an empty map. Now we can create a new HTTP router instance and add some routes. HTTP router provides functions named after HTTP verbs. So to create a route for HTTP GET, we simply need to call the GET function and pass a route and a handler function. The first route is entry, followed by a key variable denoted by a leading colon. The handler function is set to show. We do the same for list. Note that we use the same handler function here. We'll switch functionality within the show function, based on the existence of a key variable. For updating, we need a put operation. We want to pass a key and a value to the URL, so we add two variables to the path. The handler function for this put operation is update. Finally, we just have to start the HTTP server. We pass the listening address as well as our router instance. For this demo, let's keep error handling simple. Log.fatal prints out an error message and exits the process. Let's implement the show function now. Typically, handler functions receive two parameters, a response writer and a request object. HTTP router handlers receive a third parameter of type params. This way, the handler function can access the key and value variables that have been extracted from the incoming URL. To access these parameters, we call the byName method, passing the variable name. The show function serves two purposes. If there is no key in the URL, it lists all entries of the data map. If a key is given, the show function returns the corresponding value. It does so by simply printing to the response writer parameter, which is sufficient for our purposes. The update function has the same signature as the show function. Updates must pass two variables, a key and a value. We just need to either add or update the entry in the data map. Finally, we print the result to the response writer. On saving, the editor inserted all import packages, including the HTTP router package. After saving, we can run the code locally by calling go run rest.go. Now we can call our server. For this, let's use curl. Curl is an HTTP client for the command line. By default, it sends GET requests, but the X parameter lets us create a PUT request instead. First, let's fill the map with some entries. We do that by sending PUT requests with a key and a value. Then we can request a list of all entries, as well as individual entries by name. That's it for today. Thanks for watching and happy coding!